There's another battle brewing tonight with RTD. No, the train to the plane, known as the A-line. It's not broken down again.
But the Denver 7 Investigates team discovered a breakdown of a different kind. Claims that RTD is deliberately trying to avoid accountability when people are hit by their buses and their trains. Those buses and trains all have security cameras.
And our Jace Larson shows us RTD is holding back their security camera video.
RTD's trains and buses crisscross the metro every day. If one of them hits you, you'd expect RTD to do what's right.
I was commuting to work like I normally do.
Tia Mills was driving to work as she approached Park Avenue and Welton Street.
I had made little muffins for our party that we were having.
As she entered the intersection, wham!
Do you remember the moment that the train hit you?
Mm-hmm. I do. It was one of those things where you're like, I can't believe this is happening to me. And then I thought, I'm dead.
Total strangers acted fast.
He tried to open my door and get me out, and then he was trying to pull my windshield down because it had smashed. And then they called 911.
She's bleeding from her head, and the cars are completely crushed.
You're lucky to be alive.
Yes.
Surviving this crash may have been the most harrowing experience, but she had a big battle ahead.
I was sure the light was yellow, and I had not run a red light.
Tia was so sure that when police later gave her a ticket, she decided to hire a lawyer.
And I thought, let's just get the video, and the video will show us.
Attorney Lorraine Parker used Colorado's Open Records Act, which allows anyone to get copies of most government records.
The only problem was we could not get any facts.
Even though RTD had the video, Tia was not allowed to even see it. RTD claimed an ongoing police investigation, and state law allows them to withhold that if it's true. But in this case, it wasn't. Denver police told us they closed their investigation within a month.
It simply is not fair. And especially in this instance, where Tia Mills just wants to know the truth.
Like, what would I do if that happened?
Tia decided to do something most of us never do. She took her traffic ticket all the way to trial. She made police play video from their overhead surveillance cameras. And guess what? Tia's light was yellow when she entered the intersection. Here's another view. By the time the train gets its go-ahead signal, it's halfway through the intersection. But Tia still wanted to know if RTD's cameras showed anything else important.
And even after the case was closed and Tia's case had been dismissed by the judge for lack of evidence, they sent me the same email.
Saying it was still under investigation.
Right.
Charges had been dropped.
Right.
Everything was done.
I had to write them back and tell them I was going to take them to court.
We are fully compliant with the Colorado Open Records Act.
Scott Reed is RTD's spokesman.
RTD still told her, we're not going to give you the video because there's an open investigation. Sure. That just wasn't true.
Well, the information we received on that stated that there was an ongoing investigation.
Reed says there must have been a mistake at the Denver Police Department. But a Denver 7 investigation found several more cases of RTD denying people video that those people had every right to get. In one case, a man's leg had to be amputated after it was hit by a bus here on Colfax. RTD claimed the case was still open and wouldn't hand over the bus camera video to the man's attorney. So that attorney emailed DPD and found out for himself that case had been closed for a while. There's this fairly simple case. A bus hit the door of a parked car. Yet 15 months later, RTD claimed police were still investigating. Indulge me for just a second as I go on. There's this bus, which crashed and nearly went off the 6th Avenue overpass. RTD denied Denver 7's request for video, even though, as you probably can guess, police had already closed their case. This mom was kicked off a bus in front of her daughter for supposedly not paying her fare. Well, DPD closed the case right away. But 2 months later, when she asked for video, RTD refused.
Do you guys ever deny someone's records just saying it's under investigation when it's not?
We have never denied somebody's request for information based on something that we knew to be false.
Reed says if people don't like RTD's denial, they can go ask police if a case is open themselves.
We want to be sure that we are doing all we can without burdening taxpayers with basically doing the homework of others.
The burden of proof and that investigation to determine whether there is an ongoing investigation is squarely and solely upon a records custodian, not upon a citizen.
Attorney Steve Zansberg fights to keep government records public.
It's troubling that a public agency has now a track record of several instances of withholding public records asserting that there's an ongoing investigation when your reporting has determined that there is none.
There may be light at the end of this public records tunnel. Near the end of our interview, RTD spokesman said the agency would consider making improvements.
Do you see where to some people this is going to look concerning?
Oh, absolutely. I think there clearly are areas for improvement by RTD. We also want to talk to the law enforcement jurisdictions and see if there's something we should do differently.
People drive across those train tracks all day, every day.
Tia is skeptical. After all, she spent months waiting to get a new car and trying to clear her name, all because of an organization that only now is admitting it may have made mistakes.
I just want to make sure that what happened to me doesn't happen to anyone else.
And this is one of RTD's cameras that Tia had so much trouble getting the video from. RTD tells us that they receive about 300 requests for video from the public every single year, and they say we found only a small number with errors. That's certainly a very serious part of our story, but some people have asked how Tia's muffins turned out, the ones she was taking to work. Well, they got destroyed in that accident. In Denver, Jace Larson, Denver 7.